Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 4, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, all of the shows on the DC TV, Arrowverse universe, if you want to call it that, because we're talking crossover. So the crossover is in just over a week from now. So we have this week of episodes, which is episode 7 for all of the shows, and the next week we have the crossover, which it's come really fast. Like, really, there hasn't been too much promotional stuff for it, which is surprising compared to last year, because last year there was a lot of build-up, like they did magazines and stuff for it. This time around, not as much, but, you know, in the next week or so, that we could see some more stuff pop up, apart from the stuff we're going to be going over in this video, so I guess we should wait maybe this week and just see what happens. But they did release a lot of pictures, some promotional images for the crossover for all 4 episodes. So they released promotional pictures for the Supergirl episode, the Arrow episode, the Flash episode, and then the Legends of Tomorrow episode. So in total, there's like between 90 to 100 pictures. I think actually in some cases there are over 100 pictures, but some images are basically the exact same, so they basically count as doubles. So in this video, we're going to be showing over 90 images. It's crazy. Now, I'm not going to be going over each image specifically because, as I said, a lot of the images are basically from the same scene. You don't have to break down every single image. So we're just going to go over like the group of them, like groups of images might I say, if that makes sense. But we'll do them in order. So in order from how they are going to be playing out in this big crossover. So we'll go over the Supergirl photos and the Arrow ones and the Flash ones. And then finally the Legends of Tomorrow ones. But do be sure to let me know in the comments section down below if I miss out on anything big that you think is big that are in these photos. Just leave them all in the comments section down below, as well as just your general opinions on the photos and what I say in the video. And of course, if you're going to enjoy it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are obviously enjoying the stuff and looking forward to the crossover. So the first handful of photos or images we're going to be looking at are at like a pre-wedding gathering of sorts. Like, you would say it's a wedding shower, but it's like, it seems like it's just before, like the day before the wedding. And usually a wedding shower is like a couple of weeks before, if not like a few months before. So it's a bit late to be having a wedding shower, but you know, in the shows, they just sometimes rush stuff. So this could be a wedding shower. But we do see Wally West in both the wedding shower and also some of the wedding photos later on. So Wally West will be back for this part of the crossover, but he actually won't be part of like the fighting the EarthX people. Now, I don't understand why that's the case. Like, he has powers, so why wouldn't he team up with them? Like, Wally is more powerful than a lot of the people that are going to be like teaming up in our heroes team to take on the EarthX people. So it's a bit strange. I guess they could make it that maybe Wally West is one of the captives of the EarthX villains and maybe gets taken away. That could be what they're going for. Or maybe just Wally's like, I'm not dealing with this, I'm going back to wherever I was. So I don't know what they're doing with Wally in this crossover. All I know, he's going to be in the wedding stuff, but after that he's not going to be fighting. So that's a bit strange, but let me know your opinions of that in the comments. In regards to the actual wedding photos, I'm sure West Allen people are losing their minds. But the funniest part I found of this crossover, or these photos from the crossover at least in regards to the wedding, is Mick or Heatwave. He's over it clearly. As soon as he gets there. I think it's funny that we have Mick here sitting next to Captain Singh. I just find that hilarious. We have this villain, and Captain Singh would still most likely see him as a villain just at the wedding of Barry and Iris. I find that hilarious. But yeah, I'm expecting Mick to have a few funny comments throughout this wedding. But of course, the EarthX villains do crash the wedding, as we have sort of got hinted at in not only the synopsis for this crossover, but also the couple of trailers that they've dropped for the crossover in the past couple of weeks. It does seem like this group of EarthX soldiers is being led by the EarthX version of Oliver Queen or Green Arrow, as you can see him up the top here. At this point, he is wearing his mask. The mask, for people wondering, because there is some photos later on without the masks, they have the masks just so it's 20 million times easier for fight choreography, because then they don't have to use like exact looking stunt doubles of the people, like Oliver, like Stephen Amell or like Melissa Benoist and stuff like that. They can just put the mask on some random person and have them do the fight choreography. They don't have to get like someone that looks like the actor. So that's why they're doing the masks. It just makes it 20 times easier and much easier to film. But then we go to this EarthX bunker by the looks of it with hero hostages. So they have these like things on their neck. I'm assuming these are like dampeners maybe, and also like trackers. So they could be dampeners for metahuman powers. But then you see like Sarah Lance has it on her neck, and also Alex Danvers, who aren't metahumans. So they could have another reason. Maybe they're like shock collars of sorts. Or maybe they're like all-round collars. Like they do a lot of stuff, like they dampen metahuman powers, they shock people, they track people, a lot of different things. So like a multi-function death collar, if you want to call it that. But it's in this that we do actually see an evil version of Harrison Wells. He's like the evil Flash from EarthX. We also see Overgirl, who is like the evil version of Supergirl. And then we have the EarthX version of Green Arrow. I don't know what they're going to call him, like Red Arrow maybe, because we've had Red Arrow in a Justice League animated movie. So they might call him Red Arrow instead of Green Arrow, but we'll have to wait and see. In regards to the evil Wells, a lot of people have been asking me like, hey, is it an evil Wells or is it like another Earth's version of like Eobard Thawne taking over evil Wells? I think it's just going to be an evil version of Harrison Wells from EarthX, just because we also have like an evil version of Supergirl and an evil version of Oliver Queen. So I don't think they're going to do the whole Eobard Thawne controlling Harrison Wells thing again, just because it happened in season 1. Try and mix it up. And I think this is just like paying tribute to Tom Cavanagh playing like an evil speedster because he was so good at it in season 1. Now this goes back to the wedding. We get like a post-wedding photo in Star Labs near like the pipeline stuff. And I'm 99.9% sure here that this group of people are looking at the EarthX Prometheus. Now, I'm not going to go into who I think it is. You can obviously let me know in the comments who you think it is, because I know who it is. I'm like, as I said, 99.9% sure, sorry, that's Prometheus. And I'm like 99.97% sure that I know who Prometheus is in this crossover. I might have mentioned it in some other videos. You might remember it from that, but I'm not going to mention it again in this video just in case of spoilers. So you can let me know in the comments who you think it is and just give your opinion or your guess. But yeah, try not to spoil it, I guess. But then again, if you're commenting it, you are spoiling it. So whatever. But this is our first good look at the Ray. So we're going to be meeting the Ray in the crossover. This will probably be like the only time we ever see the Ray. He is going to be in the new CW Seed animated show called Freedom Fighters, and he's like the main character of that. But we do see him here as like, and he looks like he's like an EarthX prisoner. So he was like, you know, captive on EarthX. Now he's wearing like almost like boy in striped pajamas outfit, so what like people wore in concentration camps. So I don't know if that's what's going on. So maybe he was one of those prisoners and he's, you know, broken out of it, or people have broken him out of that prison. In regards to the Ray's outfit, I have seen some people going on about his helmet not looking that good, and his like overall outfit just looking a bit bland and a bit meh. But you got to realize he is only going to be in this crossover. It's not really worth spending so much money on making him like this over-the-top helmet and over-the-top suit like we see with like the Atom or even Citizen Steel. It's not really worth it to spend that much money because he's only going to be in this crossover. So you can understand why the suit maybe isn't up to the standards of some other suits in the Arrowverse. But I think for the fact that they probably spent like minimum budget on it, I think it looks pretty decent. And I don't think he's going to be in it too much. And a lot of his stuff will be CGI as well. That's important to remember because the Ray can fly. And his powers are like controlled, like he's powered by the sun. He has like solar powers, if that makes sense, or something along those lines. I'm not too familiar with the character, but I know he's got powers like revolved around like solar energy or something like that. So a lot of his stuff will be CGI. So they don't have to spend like a lot of time on his suit and too much focus on it. But we do get our first good look at Citizen Cold. We did see him in some like leaked set pictures, if you want to call it that. Now, it does seem that he is possibly from EarthX. So he could be like another hero from EarthX. Obviously, this is like a nod to Flashpoint, where Citizen Cold was the quote-unquote hero of Central City in that universe. Obviously, if you've read the Flashpoint comics, you would know, yeah, Citizen Cold did some good stuff, but he did have some like overlying or underlying, might I say, motives as to why he was doing it. So you could really see that he maybe wasn't a full-on hero. But it is cool just seeing a version of Leonard Snart back in the Arrowverse, and I can't wait to see how he acts, because I've heard that he's meant to be like basically the opposite of what we've seen from Captain Cold before. So whatever you think of Captain Cold now in regards to his attributes and his traits, think the opposite, and that's what you're getting with Citizen Cold. We also do see a version of EarthX Win, which is interesting. I did hear he was going to be in the crossover, but I just thought it'd be, you know, the Supergirl version. But he looks like he's from EarthX, and he's maybe like the head of the Resistance on that Earth. Like he's got a bit of stubble going on, looking a bit military-esque. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm assuming he's like part of the Resistance, you know, the part of the group that maybe got the Ray out of jail or prison or a concentration camp sort of thing in this universe. So yeah, Win's looking a bit more badass than usual. Now, from what I can gather from these set photos, it does seem like episode 1, that being Supergirl, and episode 4 being Legends, will be on Earth 1, and that's where a lot of the action will take place. So we'll be fighting on Earth 1 in those two bookend episodes, if you want to call it that. And then in the two middle episodes, that being Arrow and Flash, which makes sense, they are the two like the pillars of the Arrowverse, they hold everything up together. We're going to be fighting on EarthX in those episodes, which really excites me. I'm really looking forward to being on EarthX because the crossover is called Crisis on EarthX. so you'd want to spend a decent amount of time actually on EarthX. But I have a feeling, unfortunately, that a lot of the EarthX stuff is going to be in like bunkers and inside things. We might only get a couple of shots out in like open areas with like a different looking environment stuff, just because of budgetary things. It costs so much to make everything look a lot different than Earth 1. So I can understand why they're going to be in like inside in a lot of these scenes on EarthX, but just being on EarthX in general is going to be pretty cool. We then see this evil version of Wells in Star Labs with both of Iris and Felicity. I guess the big question here is this Earth 1 or is it EarthX? It does look a lot like Earth 1 Star Labs, like actually it looks exactly like Earth 1 Star Labs, but the lighting is a bit weird, which makes you think, ooh, is this actually EarthX? But if I had to put money in it, I think this is Earth 1. It's probably Evil Wells trying to get as much information as what's going on in that Star Labs and stuff like that. And yeah, I think this would have to be on Earth 1, but there's obviously a chance that it is on EarthX. But then we get these cool couple of shots of the end battle, most likely, with all of our, well, not all of our heroes, a decent amount of them on Earth 1, most likely. These are some awesome shots. We did once again see some of these through set photos, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it'll be better than that rooftop fight we had in the Invasion crossover, just because that was against all of like CGI stuff. Like this is going to be against villains, like the EarthX villains, as well as some soldiers as well. So I think this will be a better fight scene overall. But one thing I did see a decent amount of people talking about and a bit confused by was when we see some shots of some heroes on the Waverider. And this actually piqued my interest because I was like, oh, okay, the Waverider. So some people were wondering, okay, well, why are we traveling through time? And I was thinking, I don't think we might be traveling through time. I think the Waverider might be traveling through the multiverse. And I think that's what they should do, because I brought this up in a previous video. I don't know if it was a Q&A or it was a Legends video, but I was like, surely the Waverider would have the ability to travel through the multiverse. And I think that's what's happening here, because you got to think about it. All of these people are on another Earth, so it would make sense if they just travel through the multiverse and were able to go to and from each of the Earths in the Waverider. And if that's the case, if they discover this ability of the Waverider in this crossover, that opens so many doors for Legends in the future. Maybe not this season, but next season we could get some multiverse action for Legends, so they could travel the multiverse instead of traveling time. Obviously still travel through time in some episodes, but they could make like the big plot of next season that it's like a multiverse villain. It's a villain from another Earth that the Legends have to try and take down. But just let me know what you think of that in the comments. Do you think they'll be traveling through the multiverse on the Waverider? I do have to point out the Killer Frost suit. I think it looks amazing. We did see once again some set photos of it, but I think it looks much better here. I think it's a really good suit, and Caitlin will be rocking this for the rest of the season, because I have seen some set photos from I think episode 10 of The Flash this season, and she was wearing it. So I think it looks good. Let me know if you agree with me. And then we get some group shots of all the heroes minus Firestorm actually, and also Diggle, if you want to include Diggle on the Waverider. I think this is just awesome. It's almost like a Justice League-esque photo, just like a big thing that they'd put on a poster, or like a picture that they'd hang up in the Hall of Justice or something like that. I think it looks really cool. And yeah, I think I might see a lot of people having this as like their Twitter banner and stuff like that, but I think it looks really cool. But then we also finish off with these couple of photos of Oliver actually saying goodbye to Felicity. Now, I don't care about him saying goodbye to Felicity, who cares? But the thing that's really interesting about Oliver here is that he has the Green Arrow suit on, but he has like the Evil Arrow's quiver, and then he has Prometheus's arrows. He has like the black arrows of Prometheus, he has like the red quiver with like the line on it from the red arrow, and then he's got the Green Arrow suit. So what's going on here? This is very interesting. It's like Oliver from EarthX and Oliver from Earth 1 merged, and then they have Prometheus's arrows. So very interesting what's happening here. I don't know why he's saying goodbye to Felicity. This doesn't seem like it's him entering into the final battle, because if we go back to those pictures from the battle where all those heroes are lined up, Oliver has the green arrows. So what is going on here? I'm very interested. This is actually the big thing that I'm going into the crossover going, what the hell is happening here with Oliver? Because it looks like Felicity's saying like a final goodbye. So yeah, just let me know what you think of that in the comments, because my mind's sort of spinning from these couple of photos and I'm like theorizing the hell out of it. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I think it looks really cool and I'm excited to see what happens here. But thanks for watching, guys. This was a much longer video. There was a lot of stuff to go over, so hopefully it wasn't too much of a drag watching it. But if you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like on it. Let me know in the comments section down below what image got you the most excited. What are your general opinions on stuff I've said in the video? Like, what do you think of the Ray? What do you think of the EarthX stuff, like the Evil Wells, Overgirl, EarthX Arrow, and stuff like that? Even Killer Frost suit. And what do you think's going on with Oliver towards the end? And do you think like the Waverider is going to be traveling through the multiverse? There's a lot of stuff, but just let me know in the comment section down below what you think of all of it. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.